or whatever the day you're watching this video. I'm gonna show you how I made 20 something, which is actually my first release of 2023. Hey, I'm really sorry to interrupt your program, but while editing this video I just realized that some of the sound is clipping a little bit, so I'm just sorry about this, but it's a good video. Enjoy. Something I made for my older song, Way Outside. But yeah, what it's called is now I'm going to show you in depth the way we produced and also how the song was made. Let's have a listen on the song.
I'll give you something to cry about. Don't give me nothing to lie about. 'Cause I'll be rocking all your boats. Well, I'll be
So before we made that song, I actually contacted Kat on Instagram asking her if she wanted to collab, and I was like, it's actually pretty cool what she does. She has like a few videos. I really like her style, her vibe, her voice as well, and she actually reminded me a lot of like Bene and things like that. And I always wanted to collab with a singer that had like you know, a strong like capacity of singing than a softer voice, because I usually do collabs with like softer voice artists, I'd say. She was really down. 2 weeks later we started to have this session. So we went down to the studio. It went so smooth. It was so easy. I remember on my way to the studio I was listening to some songs and I was like, oh, I like it to be a bit faster, you know, because I usually do like slow stuff, and I was like, it'd be cool to explore something a bit new. And as you can see, it's actually 129 BPM, which is kind of fast. Not really right now, but 2 years ago, because that's when we made it. 2 years ago was like still like new movement and things like that. It's like the session went so fast. I'll show you how I started with. It was very simple. I think I took a loop, which should be this one. Yeah. And I kind of like modified, just adding this, you know, like this hat. I think usually it's like a normal thing. It's like that, you know. And I just wanted to be like open hat on the snare. This was like the changes I kind of made on the first loop, and I was like, let's vibe to it. Let's just vibe. And we had this loop, which is from Oliver. I think you guys know that pack now. I keep repeating about this pack on Instagram and everywhere. What happened is I started like finding the chords on the guitar. It was pretty easy, to be honest with you. Yeah, so you got the first recording here, Guitar Ultra, which is actually the studio we use. It was Ultra Music. These are like, I don't know, like it was a bit, in a way, it was kind of like funny because the beat was there. I started like, you know, like vibing with the guitar. She just started like writing the lyrics, and I was like, this is sick. This is how I want it to be. It's very fast, you know, we had that connection, so let's just like keep on moving. And actually the whole session was about that. We kept on moving. Every time we had like an idea, I was like, okay, cool, let's put it down. And she was the same. I'm like that with production, but she's actually the same as well when it comes to like singing. She's like, okay, I've got it, let me just jump on the mic and we do it. So the song was actually like that, and it was made in one day. We haven't like changed many things after that. Guitar pretty simple. I remember trying to put a chorus. This one is like this thing is a chorus here. Phaser as well, because I wanted to be a bit like different in a way, you know, a bit like indie pop, which is not really different. Everybody is using that style, very 80s vibe, but I was like, it's overly used. That would be nice actually to go back to like a classical like guitar sound. I did like a CLA 76, which is one of my favorite compressor from Waves. Tremolo. So tremolo, I don't think you hear it that much, to be honest. Yeah, you can hear it a little bit. To me, tremolo is good because there is movement on the guitar. It's not only like straight in. I would use a straight in guitar like sound when I do something a bit more disco that you want to remind like yourself of like Cheek and stuff like that. And then reverb. And then neutron free, I only use that for stereo. I could do like, usually I dabble them. On this one I was like, it would be nice to have it a bit raw, so you can hear it's one guitar and it's not like overly like done. Yeah, that's it. That's kind of it for the guitar. And the guitar was kind of like simple to
I'll be going through something.
In terms of the bass, what I was happy about with the bass is the fact that it was a P bass, and I think to me a P bass is probably the best sound for my music. And I added like so many like compressors, as you can see. There's like the CLA 76 again. Let's listen to the bass sound. Yeah, it's clipping a bit as well, you know. So you go 76K. The 2A is something I always use. One of the best limiter compressor for me. I usually make sure that the mids are up when it comes to bass sounds. I love it. I think it sounds a bit like retro in a way, you know. And I usually mute my strings when I play it, so it's not that in your face, you know. Something is quite good as well that I found really like cool on a bass sound is when you actually add some like, what is it, drive, I'd say, or decapitator is basically adding some like texture, like drive texture a bit, like as you can see here, you know. That was this is basically to add a bit of like stereo to your bass. I think I did this actually because we didn't have that much time, and I then didn't want to think too much of like the mixing at the moment. By the way, this is like actually not the right thing to do. Is like, I think the best is like you actually probably think of the mix, but I usually do it naturally. On this one I was like, fuck yeah, I just really want to get that song done because I feel like the momentum in music is the best thing. This is why whenever you create, just don't even like think so hard of like, oh, how it's gonna be next, blah blah blah. It's easier to just think of like the best of the song, but never negligate the mix, to be honest. Okay, cool. So now what did I do? Let's go back on the drums. Actually, it was a simple beat. If we do like, you know, we do like that. Very simple, but I did some of the stuff that I like, you know, like claps. They're not entirely quantized with the snare, so it gives that like organic sound, you know. When it comes to the hats, I did my own hat. I think it's like stuff I recall. I'm not too sure what hat it is, but I've got a pack that I really like that I usually use. What was interesting in that one is it could have sounded really bad because there is like a stack of like drums everywhere, but I don't know, it sounded good, and I just added a bunch of like snares. So you go one here. I love that snare sound because that snare sound sounds very dry. It doesn't sound like overly like compressed, because when you listen to the loop it's a bit like, say, a bit too much. This one, that one has like a room sound to me. There's like a room sound, which is quite cool as well because it gives that indie vibe, you know. And on the loop I did remove some low ends, and then you got the kick, and this is the sidechain, because on Reason you have to do, I keep saying that in every video I do, I keep saying that the sidechain is just terrible, because it is terrible, guys. You need to change that. It's so bad. Yeah. Didn't keep the kick of the loop because it was too 80s to me, and I was like, let's keep it a bit more like, I like when the kick is very soft and like a bit more. But that's pretty much it. Playing with the drums, I did this as like a rhythm box. This is like in terms of beats. When we come in terms of percussions, I did what I kind of used to add 2 years ago. Guys, I made it 2 years ago, it's crazy. But it's like a chimes. I still love them, but like I think I add them less in my production. But this is good, like when you have a transition to like another section in the song, it's kind of like the perfect thing to add. It's very light and soft, and it's not in your face, you know. What I really love about that song, something that I do actually now, but I wasn't doing it before. I switched from like a bass guitar to analog bass, or like plugin bass or whatever. So you have this like subby bass that comes in before the chorus, and that's what I actually did on Wait Outside. If you want to check the video, actually, if you haven't seen it, I explain how I made my latest song, which is Wait Outside, and I do exactly the same thing. I think what made that song interesting in the first place is the fact that all the synths are a bit weird. There's always something weird coming. I think if you take this off, the song would probably be boring, to be honest with you. Probably gonna be, you know, I don't know. Not boring, but like more, it would have been like, oh, another song with a guitar and drums, that's it, you know. And obviously Kat's voice is like amazing on it. Yeah, I think the synths are different, you know. To be honest with you, when we made those synths, when I found those synths, I wasn't thinking too much. I was just like, we need to just like put some synth at some point, and we need to just keep on going. I was probably a bit too much like that, you know. But those synths is literally like just a towel. this one here. This is one I always use. It's like a preset I made because I really like it when like it sounds like a Juno that we have in here. I love it when it's like it sounds like a Juno. When it comes to keys, I did these ones. To be honest with you, I'm not like entirely happy with those keys. I don't think they bring anything to the song. I think I wasn't really happy with those keys. I was like they sound good, but I think there was like a keyboard that actually made the track sound a bit weird. No, it might be these keys actually. Yeah, I just take off what I'd say. Usually what I like to do is like sometimes to give a little bit more rhythm when there's no beats or something like that. Is adding some like arpeggiator kind of vibe. And I did that with this synth. Yeah, that's still the Tao, and I was literally playing with the... So that's... my computer is going to die. So yeah, that was me playing it. I think I tried to have like an arpeggiator and it didn't sound as much as I wanted, as cool as I wanted. It's this one, let me show you. Okay, this makes no sense, literally. But the story about this synth, I love it, is I was, because we were so fast, you know? And she was writing faster than I thought. So I was like, we need to keep on going. And I started like, I was basically, the song was like playing and stuff. And I had a loop and I was trying to find the sound. So I was like switching, you know, like the presets and stuff like that. And I did stuff like, and I just recorded that basically. And this was recording by like mistake. And I was like, that sounds so sick. So I kind of like put it everywhere. And I think I love it. I think it suits the vibe so much. Like.
I'll give you some.
I can't really hear it at the beginning, but.
Don't take it personal.
The vibe of the song is like quirky. And because Kat, in her lyrics and the way she is as like an artist, she's quirky too. So I was like, it suits so well, you know. So the mistake that happened was like perfect for the actual track, you know. But you know what? In terms of production, that's pretty much it. And in terms of like structure, let me check if there is anything else. Oh yeah, I've got the JX3P here, which is another synth from Rollins. And when I came back home, I added some synth. And I only kept one little thing, which was... I love it because you can tell it's like analog. You can literally tell it's an analog sound. And there is not, I don't know, it sounds so good. And I think this brings like, I don't know, just trying stuff, you know. Usually what I do is like, I do a whole track when it comes to guitar or whatever, record everything on the song, on the structure, and then I keep little things. And maybe you can hear, you can see what I tried before. Yeah, look at this.
Take a little breath.
There you go, I only kept that. This was auto-tune, by the way, so I was just trying to find like the right thing. Oh yeah, another synth I added before we jump into the structure was this one. Yeah, this was the other synth that made everything stand out. Basically, I think what's actually cool in that song is the fact that when the chorus hits, which is why actually we're going through the structure now, it doesn't hit straight away. It's like making love just like it's not. In a way, the song, to me, if there wouldn't be a break at this moment, I think the song would have been really, really annoying because the beat, it's always the same. I would have found something else, obviously, but this was very natural. When it came in, I was like, making love just like it. I was like, okay, I'll keep the idea, it's so sick. Let me show you the synth actually. It's a CS80, which is another one that I talk, if you check Wait Outside, I tell you more about this synth. But this synth, guys, must cost probably $50,000. If you have this synth, I buy it off you. It's one of my favorite synth and it's just like impossible to find. This is one of the best synth I've ever like used. So what I did in the structure, I sampled the first chords. That's it. What did I add to it? Literally nothing. This is a sampler of Reason. That was so fun. To the structure now. I apologize for my computer that is actually dying right now. So, first guitar, just simple. Okay, so like the first thing was that like we put the guitar. To be honest with you, to me it's like it was a shitty reverb. I was like just put that and then bring it down and stuff like that. And then she starts singing. And what's funny is she starts singing on the chords that I was not expecting her to sing. So I was really confused in the production. I was like, Kat, are you sure? Like you? She was like, yeah. And I was like, you know what? I love it because it's like it's not like common, blah blah. And she was like, what? She was like, what do you mean, man? It's not common, whatever. But it was funny because I was a bit confused at the beginning. But this was the intro, and literally I said to her, we need to change that, and she was like, just keep it, mate. Oh, how did I forget that synth? Is this where are you? This little boy, I think is literally the same. This is like from a pack from like Tyler the Creator. And yeah, it's like a little lead that I did towards the production. When I produced that track, because it was 2 years ago after COVID and everything, I wasn't used to producing anymore. And the only times I produced before COVID was literally when I was doing housey stuff. So the way I've composed that song was still like stuck into the not old fashioned, but like what I used to do with house is like, oh yeah, you put like the beats, put the bass, and then you put some synth and some little leads, blah, blah. And I think what's funny is like the fact that Kat is not into that genre and me, I was like transitioning more into indie music. I don't know, I think that made the track special. All these little things are in the moment, you need to keep them because they are making your track even better. I'm going to show you a bit of the vocals because I think that's pretty much it for the song. As you can see, there's nothing crazy. I think what makes the whole track is the energy. To be honest with you, if you are just a producer or you're a music artist and stuff like that, I think like 80% of the tracks are better if the singer is good. You can have a really fucking shit, sorry for my language, but you can have a really shitty production. I know a few and I'm like, how the hell is this big? And I listen again, I'm like, obviously it's the vocals. And I think if the vocals are mixed well and the production is very low, it's very simple, no one cares. You know, no one gives a shit actually. Like everybody gives a shit more about like, what is she talking about? Like listen, I'm sorry, but like I made a video about it. Listen to Flowers by Miley Cyrus. It's very simple and it's cool. No one cares because people care more about the lyrics. And I think this is why like sometimes you need to like think about when you produce. It's like no one gives a fuck about you adding like the most expected synth or whatever. They don't care. Like if it sounds cool, it sounds cool. If the chords are good, they're good. That's it. The beats, the energy makes everything. But it's good because that's what I've learned. Something I never ever learned before. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna put like all this guitar thing. I was going into studio. When I was going in studio, I was like working like a 9 to 5, taking 2 hours off. I had to like deliver everything. I was like, the singer is here for 2 hours or 3 hours. Let's just like make something quick, and she sings, and then we mix it. And then at the end we did that, and then the singer leaves, and I'm like, okay, cool. Now we could add stuff. It's like actually it sounds cool. Like we don't need much. And I was like, okay, cool. I learned that, not that I use it all the time, but it's something that I've learned throughout my career. So if you go on the vocals and you bypass the effects,
why you trying to meet my
and with the effects sounds like that.
My mom, that doesn't read.
Guys, honestly, vocals, it took me a while to understand how it sounds good. It really depends on like different things, like the room, the mic you record with. If you have like compressors already, there's already a compressor on top of it. I did some like treble. The bass was already like part of the presets. Same thing, CLA 76. And then our Vox is really good because it's gonna bring some like of the frequencies that makes your voice a bit more powerful. And I was like, let's just try it. And then Neutron 3 again is literally just to have a stereo on your vocals. It's to make your stereo like bigger. Didn't double the vocals actually. I think we did on the other version I was telling you. But we also doubled in the chorus. And you know what, usually when you double vocals, you do like, I mean, the way I do it is like left and right and middle. middle is gonna be the main one, and then the double is gonna be lower in the mix, or maybe less compression and things like this. Sorry. On this one, we literally did
making love just like it's nothing.
We made one very sassy, same. I don't know how the hell this wasn't clipping on the actual final track, but they were literally the same ones on top of each other.
Making love just like it's nothing.
That is literally good because that's the beginning of the chorus and it hits, and because there's no instrumental at this point, it's literally
making love just like it's nothing.
This is what I like about this song is we were not thinking too hard about it. We're just like making it. Jumping on the harmonies, which is probably what makes the song a bit like, you know, pushy and cooler.
Cause I'll be rocking all your boats, while I'll be sowing all my oats.
These are literally like simple harmonies that you put left and right, and there's less effect than the actual main vocals. It's just like a CLA2A. I think it's the same thing. Yeah, maybe less compressor and 76. Okay, what I love about this is she's really good at like doing harmonies. So I basically did double each harmony. So whenever she's got like a harmony, left and right all the time. And sometimes I kind of like, you know, like see in the mix if it's good to have them always hardly pan. But usually what I do is like a hard pan, middle pan, almost middle, or exchange, you know. So you got the harmonies here. And the low harmonies here. I call that plus harmony, but it's literally like mids, I think. And then you got the high harmonies. These are like the who's, but we didn't keep them. They're really nice, but I think I kept them somewhere else in the track. Yeah, there you go here. It's basically, I remember we were like, okay, let's add some harmonies, and I kind of like play around with the structure, and I was like, the second pre-chorus has to hit a bit more, it has to change. It's all about like making sure that it's like, how do you say, it's always different, you know, because if the structure is always the same, the song can be like, I think it's really important to make sure that the song is always interesting from beginning to the end. And my ideal song, the way I would write a song, is don't make it too long. Just go to the point. That's it, go to the point. Especially if you do my genre, if you do like experimental rock or whatever, when people is gonna take the time to appreciate. I would say my music is more poppy, it's more like to the point. So this is why even when we started, I was like, we could also remove the, how do you say, the guitar at the beginning and just start straight away, you know, like that. We could have started the song like that.
Give you something to cry.
But I think it gives the context, you know. What's funny is like she did some like ad-libs, kind of like luffy ad-libs and stuff. And this wasn't here. It was like for another moment in the track.
It's like it's nothing.
Yeah, it's crazy. I put it twice. Also, what I did, which Kat is not really familiar with, is like I did a moment that's like very inspired bossa nova, because I love bossa nova, and I always try to put it in my music. If you listen actually to Daylight, Daylight has a moment where it's only bossa nova, and it's I usually do it like on the second verse. I quite like it because it kind of like, you know, brings something new to the track, and that inspired Kat to do those like little harmonies here that I really like.
Ha 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 ha. Ha 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 ha.
And then if you listen in context.
Probably hear it from your friends, but I got a feeling ever.
And then this. Like, you got 4 harmonies here. Good. And then you got these ones here.
In between my feet, baby, it's a sink or swim.
I like that as well. It's very like the variation on the harmonies are really good, because she doesn't like do like, oh, I'm gonna do like very low for the whole way through. She was like, okay, I want to record that. Let's just try this. That's pretty much it, guys.
I am just a 20-something.
They're all so good. She decided to keep that.
20-something.
What's good with Kat, I think, with not every singers, is that she comps her own vocals. She's not like trusting too much the producer, which is nothing bad. Like, there's nothing ego that you should take about. If somebody is like, I want to comp my vocal, that's perfect because they know their vocals and it's less job for you. So whenever I collab with Kat, to be honest with you, it's like, I'm like, you know what, just do it. And I remember like sitting, having coffee or just like chilling while she was doing it. I was like, it's perfect, I can chill, you know. In terms of guitar, actually, I think I didn't show you, I added some like little... And I did an auto pan, don't know if you can hear. I think it's the same guitar, yeah, it's literally the same effects. With the chorus, this is the bossa moment that was telling you the verse. Let's see, easy loop, and then you add that with like your own drums.
I don't want nothing to whine about. I just need someone.
I think what's funny is like, usually I had like a little rim shot, like you would play on the drums. But like I did like just claps. It just give it like very soft. I think what I like about this production is you don't have to do too much. Like as I was saying earlier, in pop music, people really don't care. But it's more like, I think if I think of myself 2 or 3 years ago, I would have done so much adding kicks and stuff like that because I love playing it and I'm a drummer like originally. Yo guys, thank you for watching this video. Sorry about the ending, it was cut off, I don't know why, but if this was useful, let me know in the comments, and if you want to see more, let me know. Don't forget to subscribe, to like this video, and please the little bell, that would be amazing. I love doing this, but I need more of you to support me on that. Anyway, catch you later, maybe for the next song. Take care.